Hey, y'all. We're in Dallas, Texas, wrapping up our final trilogy of Real Women in Real Estate. And blessing her presence with us on stage is Nicole Valenzuela. Everybody, welcome Nicole. How are you, love?
I'm doing great.
Nicky.
Thank you.
She goes by Nick. Yes, and Nicole. So your chapter is about giving back. So for those starting their business, how important is it to do that?
Yeah, you know, that's something that I didn't realize right off the bat. But when you get into real estate, I think everyone's looking at the deal, right? When am I going to get my first deal? And they're racing towards that goal. And instead of focusing solely on that, I suggest that people slow down. They take a breath and they surround themselves with the right people first. Real estate, it's a marathon. It's not a race. And so once you do that, then focus on how can you give back? How can you help those around you? And going into it, you might think, okay, I don't have any experience. I don't have the ability to help people, but leverage your strengths. And for instance, if you have a great sales background, help others with their talk tracks. That's something that you can give back. And by giving back to those around you, it's going to come back to you twofold. And that's what's happened to me in my journey. I started off giving back to others, and it came back to me every single step of the way.
Wow, that was like a master class right there. I love this color in you.
Thank you.
And your baby boy is absolutely adorable. Thanks for bringing him to hang out with all the ladies this weekend. And when we met before you joined the book, you told us how you're like traveling everywhere and exploring. And I'm fascinated because you're not stationed in one place, and I feel that you need to be stationed in one place in order to have your hands in all these different, businesses. But you are in multifamily, new development, buy and hold. Is it cannabis or cannabis?
Cannabis.
Okay, I'm Albanian. It's called cannabis in Albania. So how do you stay ahead of all the trends, and how does Nicole know when to say yes to an opportunity and when not to say yes? I know it's a loaded question, but dissect it for us.
No, absolutely. And you're right. We're on the road. We're in an RV. We're traveling constantly. But when we look at deals, and I say we, me and my husband, we're open to looking at anything, really. But we have really specific things in mind when we're evaluating a deal. Number one, we're looking at how well do we know these operators? How long have we known them? What's their track record look like? That is so important for us to even evaluate a deal. From there, we want to understand how have they handled mistakes in the past, because that shows their character. And then from there, we want to understand how does this support our network and their collective goals. Once we really have an idea of what those items are, then we'll look at the returns and identify, is this something that we want to move forward with? Because we need to be comfortable with the operators first and foremost before we even look at that opportunity, because we're on the road.
One thing that I want to bring up is that, so I'm from California, y'all, so we don't have a problem talking about cannabis, okay? And it's so funny because Nicky in the beginning, she's like, well, I do all of these things, but I also invest in cannabis. Like, do I talk about that? And I'm like, girl, yes.
Is it legal?
It is. It's legal in California.
And
when before? Well, it depends on what you're doing. So I want her to elaborate on why. So being in California, I understand why, and the people in our family who are fighting cancer and use cannabis to take the pain away is a natural method. It's not always about getting high and just being a stoner. So I would love to hear you elaborate on that, because it is a massive multi-billion, I see it going further, especially in the health industry. So help the rest of the world see the possibilities with investing in cannabis.
Absolutely. So we pivoted to this as first a passive investment. We learned about the operators, we knew their track record, so we figured that out first and identified really, really sophisticated operators. From there, we were looking at the real estate market and what the returns were. They are nowhere near what you can get in cannabis. Cannabis on the low end, we're looking at returns of 14%. On the high end, and this is all conservative, 21%. And so those are mega returns for our investors. And we want to be able to bring the best opportunities to the people in our network, because I didn't grow up learning about real estate. I didn't grow up knowing how to invest. My parents didn't have that information for me, but I want to bring that to other people, and I want them to fully understand the power of investing and have the best opportunities in front of them.
I love all of that. I'm so glad you got to get that out. So, Nicky Valenzuela, how do we connect with you? How do we find you?
Yeah, so the best place would be my website, nbrcapital.us. I'm bad on social media, so go to the website first.
Beautiful. Nicky Valenzuela, y'all.
Congratulations for being #1 best-selling author.
Yes.
Yes.